Hello and welcome back to the Heart of Poland programme and our impossible mission to discover the heart of Poland. And our guest today is somebody who I've been looking forward to speaking to for quite a long time. He is Chido-Fajny, only Mexico's most famous person in Poland. Hello, Chido, otherwise known as David.
Yeah. Hi, Patrick. Hello.
Huerta Beltran. Did I say that right?
Yeah. Huerta Beltran.
And Chido-Fajny, what does this name even mean?
Well, first, thank you, Patrick, for the invitation to Heart of Poland. I'm really happy about that. And well, Chido, it's a Mexican slang word, and the meaning is fajne in Polish. So basically, in Polish, it would be fajne.
So if you're English and you don't know what
cool.
fajne is, cool.
Cool. Yeah, exactly. That's Chido-Fajny.
Now you have this profile on Facebook, on YouTube, and other places as well.
Yeah, I have my Facebook page, my website, my blog, which is Chido-Fajny.com, YouTube channel, and Instagram and Twitter and everything.
So
everything.
You kind of
I'm
like
in all social media.
The unofficial Mexican ambassador in Poland.
Yeah.
Do you know the Mexican ambassador? Have you?
Yeah. I had a chance to meet him. We were
Is
talking
he
about
jealous
no, not yet. But yeah, I'm really happy to be like the first, let's say, point of contact of all the Mexicans that are planning to move to Poland. It's something that I'm really proud about it because I can help all my connationals like on this experience, on this adventure that is moving to the other side.
You have become a bit of an, I think, I'm going to say icon maybe for that Spanish-speaking people that are coming to Poland.
Yeah, in the last few years, it's like many more people is sending me messages, asking me questions, and even sometimes in the streets they recognize me, and I don't know what to do. It's like, oh my God, I'm famous or what? So yeah, it's hard to do that. Yeah.
That's when you know you are famous.
Yes.
Okay, so the Germans call it Heimweh. In English, we call it homesickness. In Spanish, it's
probably mamitis. That is when you miss your mom.
Ah, there you go. So you're very far away from your family. You've just come back.
More than 10,000 kilometers away from Mexico. Yeah.
Do you miss them?
Yes, but I was there last week visiting my family because my brother graduated from college, which I'm really proud of him. But yeah, it's like, Mexican culture and everything is we're really close to our family. And that's one thing that is really similar to Poland. So that's why I don't feel that sad most of the times. One of the things I miss the most is my family, of course, because my family is quite big. We are 60 people, just my closest family. You know, the people that you meet every Saturday, every Friday.
People.
Yeah, 60 people.
Right.
So yeah, my grandfather had a lot of children, different times, no TV and everything. Everything was different. So yeah. Now I only have one brother, he's 22, and my parents, and 2 dogs in Mexico.
So let's look at the items that you brought with us
absolutely.
in the finest tradition of Heart of Poland program.
So yeah, my first item is this badge. Well, my story in Poland begins in 2012. I was studying my college in Mexico, and I decided to go abroad to study for 6 months. And my destiny was Paris. And when I was looking for a flat there, I met a Polish girl by internet. And we were looking for a flat because we were supposed to study at the same university. So
it was nothing romantic?
No, nothing. Just because I didn't speak French. Well, I don't speak French yet. This girl, Karolina, in that time she didn't speak French at all. So it was a really problematic to find a perfect flat because it's super expensive. For example, if a flat cost you, I don't know, let's say 200 euros, if you don't speak French, it's probably 500 euros.
Yeah.
So it's hard, So we were looking for a flat together by internet, and then one day before my trip to Paris, she sent me a message like, hey, I found something with another girl, like, would you be interested in living here? And I was like, yeah, whatever. It's like, I don't want to be homeless there. Yes. Yeah, it was my first time outside Mexico, so I was really nervous. I didn't know if this person was trustworthy because it's like, I saw so many movies that you get kidnapped and everything. So I was not that confident. But anyway, I took the chance. And yeah, this is how I met Karolina. In Paris, I arrived to the flat. She was there standing. and because it was my, let's say, my first experience with foreigners, when I saw her, she gave me her hand. I took her hand, I dragged her, and I kissed her on the cheek. The worst part is that her parents took them to Paris, so they were like 10 meters away from me. And her dad was like, what is this guy doing? It's like, and then I realized that in Poland you only do handshakes when meeting someone, so that was not the best impression. And well, eventually in that time in Paris, we were studying together, we fell in love. I got in a few dates with Karolina Kashmirska, and that's it. We became boyfriends and couple. And then when my exchange was over, I had to come back to Mexico. She had to come back to Poland. And then she visited me in Mexico for 2 weeks only. And on her last day in Mexico, she gave me this badge that has a message that distance means a little when someone means so much. And in the back is Karolina and David, August 2012.
Wow.
So this is something that reminds me of Poland, because basically this badge is where everything started. I was living in Mexico, and then I decided to move here to the other side of the world with her.
And you hadn't visited Poland up until then? You just knew it through Karolina?
I had a chance to visit it once, just for a few days, but that's it. It's like I only spent a couple of days in Łódź, because she's from there, and in Warsaw. That's it, not more than 5 days. So, yeah.
And what was your first reaction when you went to this? Was it in the winter or the summer?
No, it was on summer. It was probably on June. So it was a really nice country, really good first impression. I was living in Paris, so it was extremely expensive for me. I was a poor student there. And when I moved to Poland, I was finally able to go to a restaurant, for example. So that was a really good first impression. So yeah.
Okay. Now you've got a second item there.
Yeah, my second item is this book, Polski bez problemu.
Probably the worst title of all time.
Yes, it is not accurate at all.
It looks like you've used it a lot, though.
Yeah, I use it a lot. So when I visited Poland and during my exchange, and during those 5 days, I bought this book because my objective was to learn Polish if someday I could move to Poland. And yeah, I really try it. The title is quite tricky because...
Bez problemu means no problem Polish, essentially.
Polish without problem, and this is not true. It's like, so yeah, that was my first experience with Polish language. I mean, it's super hard language to know, but yeah. My Polish is improving since then, but yeah, the first contact was like scary, honestly. So yeah, this is my first Polish book that I ever had. This reminds me, every time I see it, it's like, it reminds me of Poland.
Okay, so you were in love with Karolina.
Yes.
And you wanted to move to Poland. Did you discuss maybe her coming to Mexico? Why Poland?
Why Poland? Well, we were in a long-distance relationship for 8 months. I was just graduated in Mexico. I was looking for a job for those months, and I was not able to find anything good. So I was working in a cafeteria, in a coffee shop, and I saved money for because I wanted to visit her in Poland. Yeah. So I bought a ticket for 2 weeks. That was on March 2013. I bought my ticket, I came here, and that's it. I came for 2 weeks only. But the thing is that I never came back to Mexico. I just stay here. So yeah, it's like I was not even prepared for anything. I didn't have money. I didn't have clothes. It was pretty cold. The first day I came to Poland, it was minus 26 degrees at that time. So it was
Was that your first time?
In winter, something really special.
Did you have the clothes for that, David?
No, of course not. Because in Mexico, you can buy a jacket or something and they tell you it's for winter. In Mexico, it works well because it's pretty warm. But here in Poland, no, they are useless. So you need to put many, an onion, sweater, and that's it.
Okay, so let's break it down for anyone who isn't in the European Union, like, for example, British people fairly soon. What does the process look like to apply to live and work in Poland? How hard was it for you?
Well, every time you see a position for when Spanish people are needed, let's say, Spanish-speaking people, if, for example, if I apply there and one Spanish guy apply, he will have more chances to get the job. Why? Because companies in Poland, they don't want to deal with the work permit. The bureaucracy here in Poland, especially with things related with foreigners, is pretty slow. It's like, it's unbelievable. So companies don't want to risk their time.
So if I am from Mexico and I want to maybe get a job in Poland and live in Poland, let's say a similar situation to you, what should I know? What are the steps you have to go through?
Yeah. So first, it's like when we Mexicans have 90 days to stay here in Poland. So yeah, that's pretty, let's say, long term. So we can look for a job, and basically, it depends all of you and your skills and how the interview goes. Because if you are really good, the company will put that effort to get that work permit. The best, from what I know, is that, for example, if you start looking for a job when you are in Mexico, in Poland, you can have interviews by Skype or something. Mm-hmm. And if you get the job, if you have a contract, and if you go to the Polish embassy in Mexico City, you can apply for a visa for work, and that's issued like in less than a month. So that's pretty fast. Because here in Poland, if you come and you get a contract and then you apply for work permit, then Karta Pobytu based on work, it can take up to 10 months or something.
So what did it look like for you? Because you arrived and you were like,
I was pretty lucky, to be honest. I was looking for a job like crazy, and I found a job in a call center working at night. It was for Latin America. So yeah, they really helped me to get the work permit and everything from there. So after I got my work permit, I applied for my Karta Pobytu, and I started from there. And then when I was living here already 6 months or something, I was saving money, and I decided to study my master's degree here at Esguija. So yeah, it's like then I had to change my residence permit based on the studies. So everything was a little bit easier, but again, it's like you need to find a job, and it's pretty hard. Yeah.
So you talked about bureaucracy already, and one of your, I think, most popular videos is a visit to the Polish Urząd,
yes.
the government office. We both know the place we're talking about on Maszakowska Street. Was it difficult?
Yes, it's pretty...
And was it expensive?
It's not expensive. The application cost, like, I don't recall, but more or less 500 zlotys, so it's more or less the average in all the visa things around the world. But yeah, it's like, you need to be really patient there. It's like, my first impression with immigration offices was not in Warsaw, was in Łódź, because I was trying to get information. But in the immigration office, they didn't speak a single word of English or any other language. So, I mean, it's like 100% of your customers are not from Poland. And so you really, they spoke only Polish, they were quite rude, and everything was like that. In Warsaw, was a little bit better, but again, it's like, now they are improving over time, but it is probably all the foreigners outside from the European Union, that's the first complaint they will have about Poland, the immigration office. Yeah.
Let's talk about assimilation. You've been here now for 6 and a bit
years.
Yeah,
6 years in March.
Which bit of you has turned Polish? When you go back to you've just come back, did you feel like you were doing something differently?
What do you mean by it?
Well, for example, when I go back to the UK, I don't like talking so much to strangers, like in shops and stuff. Everybody's suddenly very friendly. And I'm so used to Poland, where everyone's kind of, just buy the thing and leave.
So when I went back to Mexico now, it's like when I met a person, I just give a handshake. For example, a woman. And in Mexico, it's like, like kissing and everything. Also in the metro. In Mexico, we're really happy. We like to smile a lot. I lost it a little bit, but not that. So that's a huge difference. When I got to the metro in Mexico City, when I went, I was just like super serious, poker face and, trying not to move.
So do you love Poland, David? And I asked that question, I totally get where you're coming from, but I think, Polish people sometimes have a little bit of lack of confidence in themselves, and sometimes they can be surprised that foreigners from better countries, warmer countries, maybe happier countries like Mexico, could love Poland.
Yeah, that's one of the first things they told me, like, what are you doing here in Poland? It's like, you're from Mexico, it's super warm there sun of the time, so why are you here? But yeah, it's like, I love Poland. Why? Obviously, the first reason is Karolina. She's the reason I'm here. And yeah, that means everything. Also, the Polish families share somehow the same values as Mexicans. They are together. They spend Christmas together, Easter, like important days. They are really close. Also, the culture, Poland and Mexico are quite similar. For example, on the 2nd of November, we have the Dia de Muertos, and here the celebration is quite different, but it's great to know that they remember those who left us. And also the history of both countries are not the same, but we experience something similar. Mexico was conquered by Spain. In the past, we got our independence from them, and in Poland, basically, you know more than anyone what happened here. It's like all the suffer, all the suffer that people had to live here with the occupation during the World War. It was something that both countries were reborn from that. So that's something great. Also, in this country, I feel really secure. It's like the cities are, let's say, quite small comparing to Mexico City, so you can walk safely anytime during the day. It's like that's something great.
You've never experienced any racism of any kind?
Yeah, that unfortunately, yes, I did some racist situations, but like in all the world, like there are some ignorant people there that they don't accept that the world is changing. That like you need multiculturalism to survive. So yeah.
What about things that annoy you about Poland?
The things that annoy me.
The more Polish you get, the more you're going to
complain. Oh yeah, that's something that I'm knowing. It's like every time I complain more and more and more, and I think I got that because of Polish people. I was not like this, but yeah, that's one thing. The winter, the weather, kinds of annoy me, but I know like it's a different continent, everything. I was not expecting sun 365 days of the year, but like in Mexico, for example. But here, winter is one of the things I think, and I'm sure that I will never get used to it. I will always complain about that because it's so cold outside. I was in Mexico last week. It was winter as well there. We were like 29 degrees, perfect. I got a little bit tanned, and it was perfect. And here is like wearing a jacket, a scarf, so that's different. And probably one of the things I get annoyed the most is Polish lector. In the TV watching a foreign movie, it's like, man.
Person talking over
yes,
the voice.
I don't know how Polish people can watch TV shows like that.
Let's talk, therefore, about some of the content you produce. So we talked about Chido-Fajny at the start of the program. Where did the idea come about to start that profile?
Yeah, so since the first day I moved here, every Sunday I talk with my parents, no matter what. So by Skype, and during the first months, my mother and my father, they were always asking me, what do you eat? How is life in Poland? How is the culture? How is everything? So I was just talking with them. But after, 2 months, the questions were the same. It's like, Mom, I ate the same as last week because because nothing is changing. I have a routine now. So yeah. So one friend of mine at the university here had one blog. And I thought that, maybe that's a good idea. So to put everything they want to know, so they can read it. And
for younger viewers, blog was a thing that people used to do.
Yeah.
That feels like a long time ago.
Yeah,
now.
it feels like. So yeah, that's one of the main reasons. I just want to put everything there, so my parents can read directly from there, and our Skype conversation could be a little bit different, you know. But yeah, it's like eventually, like my friends and Mexican family, they didn't read it a lot at the beginning. It's like they didn't care, but it became more and more popular among the expat community here in Poland. So eventually, it became like an addiction, and now is my passion. Like it's like I really love to share content about Poland, about Mexico, and to write everything I want.
Many of your videos have had sort of several 100,000 views as well. What
Yeah,
kind
in
of
Facebook,
stuff do you record
yes.
about?
In Facebook, a couple of videos got like viral, but two posts in, let's say, two articles that I wrote on my website, they got like really, really viral. My first one, and I think this is the article that I got most of my followers, is why you should marry a Polish girl. That was like top article. It's like it was just a short article describing like all the qualities of Polish women, but it got viral, and so yeah, it was pretty nice for me. And also one of the other article that I wrote that it got a lot of popularity. It was Fat Thursday, two-stage fartek. That was something really nice. So yeah, but with every occasion, every tradition, I try to write something in the point of view of a Mexican, like how a Mexican sees Poles traditions.
And what kind of messages do you get from people to your accounts?
Depends on the content that you share. For example, if you share something good, something nice, something beautiful, of course all the messages like, oh, same questions like why you came to Poland, is like, do you like it here, what is your favorite food, etc. But with some topics that are really like, I don't know, like delicate, let's say, it's like you can get really offensive comments and messages, and yeah, but I mean, that's internet, you know, you cannot do anything.
So David, have you got any projects that you're working on now that you can tell us about?
Yeah, I will go to the Warsaw town to record the square market, like with all the Christmas decorations. I was there last week only in Nowe Światy Street and seeing the Christmas tree. It was beautiful. So yeah, and I have a few articles about the Christmas traditions that Poland has. So yeah.
Is there anything we haven't talked about today that you think is important, especially for anyone in your situation who might be thinking of coming to Poland?
Let me think.
Something maybe that you get questions about.
Well, one of the most recurring questions is about how to legalize their estate, what we already talked about, and how people can get jobs or interview. Like most of the people think that if they don't know a single word of Polish, they will not be able to do anything here, or they will not survive. And that's not true. It's like, of course, when I came here almost 6 years ago, the situation was quite different.
Yes.
You didn't see foreigners in the city. It's like when I went to the supermarket, I mean, I was like a little bit more brown, let's say. So yeah, people look at you, especially if you go to smaller towns. Yeah, like, oh, where is he from? What is he doing here? But now there are more and more foreigners. But yeah, it's like, even though like Poles, they speak languages. It's like they might be shy because they are, but I'm pretty sure all of them speak English. That's a rule. So if any Mexican or any other foreigner want to live here, you really need to learn English, like at least survival English, like because you need to communicate. People will help you. It's like maybe Poles, they seem like cold, and some of them, they look terrifying. I don't know, like they are huge, and probably not similar like Mexicans. So yeah, it's like probably at the beginning you will be shy to ask or something, but now they will help you, and that's why I really like Poles, because my impression changed completely from the typical European, like from Eastern Europe. So yeah.
Okay, well, David, Huerta Beltran, otherwise known as Chido-Fajny, I've been looking forward to this, and I knew you were going to be giving us a unique insight into Polish culture and Polish life and life as a Mexican Spanish speaker here in Poland. Thank you very much.
No,
for being
thank you,
our guest.
Patrick.
Thank you.
Once again.
Of course, do make sure that you share your reaction to what David's talked about today in the comments section below this video, wherever you find it. And don't forget to send on this video to friends, family, or anyone who you think might be interested. You can find the Heart of Poland program on the First News channel on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn. We're everywhere. So make sure you share this and share your reactions to the video. And I'll see you next time for the next episode of Heart of Poland.